Jackson, I appreciate that, and I appreciate your comments about Matt's service as governor, and I'm proud of him, and I think Missourians are increasingly understanding the kind of governor we had and the difference it made, and the next governor's going to make a difference too. I will tell you, when I went to Congress 12 years ago, almost 12 years ago, Kenny and I went at the same time, and I'd known Kenny to say hi to him for a few years before that, but I really didn't know Kenny Hulshof. And I have enjoyed the chance to get to know him, to appreciate his commitment to public service, to get to know his family. And it was probably about 3 years into us being in Congress together that I remember talking to Kenny the first time and he's the guy to win that general election and lead us in a great way. Kenny Hulshof.
Great. Thanks for coming out. It's great to be here, especially with my friend Roy Blunt. One of Southwest Missouri's favorite sons. And Dennis knows this, and those of you who have been in elected politics, when you put your name on the ballot and you stand for any election, when you get 7 out of 10 voters to say, we think you're doing a good job and we share the vision and the values that you have. I mean, that's Roy Blunt. And because 70%, even as you described it as God's country, Dennis, that's Republicans and independents and like-minded Democrats. And so the fact that someone who really reflects Southwest Missouri's values is standing next to me and embracing this candidacy for governor is a great thing. Roy, thanks very much. Let's show Roy It's not a big speech. I'm just here to visit with you, but something that Roy said, and certainly with the great job that Dennis has done, and other leaders in Jefferson City, in the legislature, and the governor. It's described at the national level when you hear Senator McCain and Senator Obama do their back and forth, and Senator Obama says, "Do we want a third George Bush term?" And we've all heard that. And then you hear the response from Senator McCain is, "Do we want another Jimmy Carter in the White House?" Well, I guess using that sort of barometer, I would ask the voters here across the state, do we want to turn the clock back to the days of Governors Holden and Carney? Because that's really what is the choice that we have. We had lost more jobs in the state than anywhere in the country per capita. Now, do we want to go back to the days when these abusive lawsuits were driving up the cost of our health care, driving businesses, the cost of business up? And do we want to go back to the days when the two-word answer to anything under the previous administration, to all the challenges that we face in Missouri, the two-word answer was raise taxes? Do we want to go back to those? I don't want to go back to those days. I think that we have, again, some tough decisions were made And I know you've probably got the battle scars to maybe not that we don't see them on you, but I'm sure that they're there somewhere. But we are really at a crossroads, and the reason we're at a crossroads is because all that Jay Nixon stands for and the direction he wants to take us. We cannot afford a government that Jay Nixon wants to give us. And so that's why this election, I mean, we really have a unique decision to make as Missourians about moving forward or turning the clock backwards. I want to move us forward. I think our best days are ahead. I think the progress we've made on money to public education, I think we can do even a better job of trying to bring businesses here, and not just really jobs for our kids, but careers. You know, as a kid from the farm, you know, I used to walk barefoot chopping cotton on that flat surface, as you pointed out, down the boot hill, that, you know, on our family farm. But a kid from the farm who's been able to do some good things, get a world-class education here in the state of Missouri, that should be the dream of all of our kids. And not to have to chase a career to some other state or some other country, not to have to chase a higher education someplace else, but really find that right here. And so we have to continue to grow our economy. We have to look at opportunities for education. And when I say education, I'm talking from grade school to grad school and everything in between, including technical schools, including community colleges. I mean, if we're going to be bringing these jobs, these careers here in the state, we have to have a workforce that's ready to take them. And so making sure that we build on the success, that is not the vision of Attorney General Nixon, but it is my vision. And if you share that vision, I certainly hope that you will help us. Now, I'm not looking past a date on the calendar that happens to be 5 weeks from today, which is August the 5th, which is a primary. We are not looking past that at all. In fact, we're working very hard to make sure that that we build this momentum. And by building momentum, it means it means looking you in the eye, shaking your hand, letting you kick the tires, letting you take a sense of who I am and what I stand for. It's also the folks that I can't get to. That someone like Roy Blunt standing here, whose introduction of me and endorsement of my candidacy helps, along with the nearly 70 state representatives and state senators across the state. I mean, they've taken a measure of each of the major candidates for governor on the Republican side, and they've shared my vision. Now, the same thing with the small business groups like the Missouri Chamber, and of course, Right to Life, and a whole host of other groups, the Missouri Republican Assembly. They've each had the opportunity to size up the two candidates here and say, this, we believe, is the strongest ticket we can have, someone who has a vision for our state, who talks about the Missouri dream, and that our best days are ahead of us. And so I willingly, I can't tell you how much I appreciate, Roy, you and others who have been willing, especially some of these folks, on the political side. I know that, there's criticism and, this and that about people in politics, picking a candidate, But some of these folks are in tough re-election battles, and they want to make sure that they have at the top of our ticket as our Republican nominee for governor the strongest candidate possible. Because let's face it, all eyes of the world, particularly political world, are going to be on Missouri come November. The presidential race, we are that bellwether. And so a lot of attention here as far as who's going to lead our country. This is going to be the #1 governor's race in the entire nation. And so the eyes of the nation are going to be on the state of Missouri. And again, the stark choice is, which direction do we go? Do we turn the clock back, or do we move forward? With your help, we're going to move forward. We're going to move forward past August the 5th, and we're going to have a resounding win. We're going to pick up the momentum even more and march into November the 4th against Attorney General Nixon. And if you'll help me, we can build a state. God has blessed us with our resources and with our people. And I believe that every day. I've been tremendously blessed myself that I was born of two common folks, farm folks, who believe that that you work hard, you pray often, and you help your neighbor in need. And those are the values and principles that have guided me every single day of my life, and will as your governor. I appreciate y'all being here. Thanks for being here. I'm proud to be here in the